save the butcher! Help save the butcher!
Hi, this is Bob from HelpSaveTheButchers.com, and today I'm going to show you how to slice a whole boneless tenderloin for yourself at home. Now, filet mignon tenderloin steak is a great eating steak, really tender. Not as much flavor as you would think. It doesn't have the grain to it. It's cut from the loin. It's a protected muscle, which is what keeps it tender. There's two ends to it, the butt tender end on this end, and there's the part that's going to go down into the tenderloin tips, the tail, on this end. We're going to do two different things today. I recommend to my customers 90% of the time, if I'm going to do a tenderloin, I'm going to do it as a roast. It's a great eating roast. I find it much better than eating the steaks. It doesn't dry out as much that way. And I'm going to share with you a recipe that we do is when we do a whole tenderloin or a butt portion tenderloin as a roast, what I do is I cook it about 15 minutes to a pound, and the last 20 minutes I'll take it out of the oven. I'll cover it really quickly with like a crescent roll dough. Now that'll open up flat, that dough. It'll make a blanket, and I'll cover over the top of it. The dough absorbs the flavor. It's a great eating roast that way, and it's a little fancy, but nice and easy to do. So anyway, one of the most important things about cutting a tenderloin is not slicing it. It's making sure you remove all the silver skin and sinew on the top of it. And you can see it here, how it is. A lot of it will come off just by pulling it, the fat. And you can pull it right off. Maybe it needs to get a little start sometimes. We're just going to stick the point of our knife underneath there. Put this aside. You push in one direction, hold onto the piece of meat, and pull back in the other direction on each pot. Here it goes. You see how nice that comes out? You don't want to take the meat with it, so you want to be really careful. Okay. This part here, top, you don't need big pieces. The results is more important than the technique. You want to make sure you leave the meat where it is and just take the silver skin off. Now, on the butt tender, the head piece here, on this side, as you can see it, has a piece of nerve that goes through and separates the main part of the fillet, the tenderloin, from the head. And what we're going to do is we're going to go along that nerve and just keep pushing back with the point of the knife, not really cutting in, until we see just meat and that we're beyond the nerve. Okay. And then we're going to do the exact same thing that we did on the other side. We're going to put the edge of our knife underneath there, and we're going to take that silver skin right off. This direction. Put these aside. There's a little bit excess fat there. You can cut that. Take it out. Smooth it as you go. Now on the other side, the chain side of the fillet, it's a little bit harder. Using the knife to push it away so you can separate and get the fat out of there. Okay? And then we're going to just do the same thing. I'm going to take it around, make it a little easier to work for myself. And remove that piece. Now there's also one other part on the bottom side sometimes here that you want to do that with also. Take the silver skin off the head on the top. Okay. Now, if you want, you can take the excess fat off now, but if you end up taking meat with it, it's going to be a little bit harder. You're going to lose weight, and you're not going to be able to use it unless you have a grinder at home. What we're going to do is we're going to cut this part here from the butt tender as a roast, just by making one slice right down. Now this is the part I would take this and form it in the oven, roast it like that, and when it's almost done, after we got 20 minutes to go, I'm going to cover it with the blanket of the crescent roll dough, tuck in the edges, and that dough is going to absorb the flavor of the meat, and the meat ends up getting a buttery flavor from the crescent roll dough. Is just fantastic. What we have left here, this is our center part, our fillet, okay, and we're going to cut steaks. Now, we have people that are always looking for their fillets, and they say, "Oh, give them to me about an inch thick." Inch is a little thin for fillet. It's a lean piece of meat, and you don't want it to dry out. So what we're going to do, we're going to do about 1.5 inches here on these. Cut them. And when you get down to the tip, you have two choices. You can either leave it whole and just use it for something as a tip, or you can butterfly it just by cutting halfway through and making another roast out of it there. These are your fillet steaks out of it. This is where if you find the fat and you want to take it off, I don't mind the fat on my fillet. I want a little bit more flavor. Okay. I'm going to take that off. But there should be no nerve left. You've taken all the sinew off. And okay. We're going to take that piece there right off. There you go. Beef filet mignon, tenderloin steaks, and a nice tenderloin roast. This is Bob from HelpSaveTheButchers.com. And don't forget, buy fresh cut meat from your butcher just like your mom did. Thank you.